Alrighty guys, welcome back to another LEGO Ninjago movie set review from BrickByBrick. Today we have set number 70611, Water Strider, 494 pieces, and retails for a grand total of, wait for it, $29.99. So this actually has a pretty remarkable price to piece ratio. It's right barely above 6 cents, I believe. It's like maybe 6.4-ish. So really good value, as you know, as far as price per piece kind of works out. It kind of seems like someone may have mispriced this. Honestly, it's way lower than I would have expected it to be. But let's see if there's a particular reason for that with the actual build. Before we get any further with this review, I do want to mention I did have a very significant missing part. If you notice, Kai has no head. No worries, because I can temporarily replace it with another Kai head from another set, which is what I'm going to do for the sake of this review. I believe they should be the same in quality, but if there is something that, typically tends to occur with Kais in this set from a certain production run or whatever, note that I will not have that. Also, I guess a slight bonus, I did end up with an extra one of these and a spear, which according to BrickLink are typically not extra parts included with the set, but I suppose that it was able to slip through quality because the weight of these offset the weight of the head, so they had no way of knowing, which was messed up. But yeah, that is the the unfortunate case for this review. Hopefully I'll be able to get a missing part or a replacement part for it. However, they currently don't have it listed as part of the inventory for these sets online, and I did end up sending through one order that had in the little description, I can't find what I'm looking for. I listed that I didn't have Kai's head, and it didn't pass validation checks, so I'll probably have to end up calling customer service. So when I get around to that, I probably will try. Hopefully, though, I'll be able to get that all straightened out. So, the Water Strider itself is massive. This thing is crazy big, honestly. Each of these legs is pretty long, and it's got 4 of them, so all the way around. I don't know, I didn't measure, but if you compare it to, say, the ice tank, an $80 set, honestly, they practically take up the same amount of space. And yes, there's a lot more open space because this is kind of like, above the ground and everything. But that's still really impressive that, this takes up all that. The legs are 2 mirrored builds. There's 2 of them, in the front and then a pair in the back. They're mirrored and do have stickers on them. It's kind of heavy use of stickers. There's a lot of them too, but that adds to the level of detail. It does say, Strider on each leg, and each leg has the same, stickers, same sticker combination. The legs, all of them move up and down at this joint up here, and they have ball joints on the feet, so that the feet can always stay flat, which is cool. But that's pretty much all there is to the legs. The cockpit in the center here does rotate around, 360, just all the way. And this 6-stud shooter can be shot off by just twisting the back here, this tank. So, there go several studs. I don't want to lose them all, so I'm not going to shoot the rest of them. But that is a pretty cool little effective feature. It works pretty well, honestly. But, you do have to spend this time to replace the studs. And it's a little hard to get the ones on the side just because of these little lights. On the side of this little cockpit area, it has some nice details with dishes and stuff. All of that works pretty well. And these in the back are on ball joints, so you can move them around a little, and they attach to the tubing, which is cool. The back has some flags, which is pretty neat. Zoom in up there. All these flags are double-sided, which is awesome. Two of them have these logos, and then there's this one in the center, which, you know, obviously mirrored both sides. This section in the back is kind of cool looking. The little tank looks like it's filled with water because of the pieces that are used, and then it has some little technical details inside, which, I don't know, maybe these hoses appear to, you know, hook up with, even though they don't actually physically. And the same detailing applies to the other side. The cockpit is pretty, you know, pretty respectably sized. I don't remember what this cockpit is usually, you know, used for off the top of my head, but you know, it looks appropriate, and it does come off. There is one sticker up here on the top section, which is the same as these stickers on the tops of the legs. So, you know, cool. And the inside of the cockpit, I think, is the only part that's lacking just a little. And it's not that it's bad, it's just that everything else is so good. There are these little joysticks, which she can hold on to. And then the back is, you know, respectably detailed up. But the big disappointing part here, she has this skirt piece, so it is a little bit harder to get her legs to attach to the studs. So I would have preferred to see this tiled over a little bit. Instead of, you know, requiring her to attach to studs, just so that, you know, you didn't have to worry too much about that. And it does kind of, you know, misform her skirt piece a little bit. However, it usually tends to, you know, be easily fixable. But overall, honestly, this is a really pretty neat design for the Water Strider. And I'm gonna end up saying this again later, but it feels like they could easily have charged $40 and probably $50 with this still being a pretty good value. Obviously, $50 would feel expensive just for Lego Ninjago movie stuff, but because, you know, usually most of the sets have a really, really good, you know, value for what you get. But this one is rather exceptional, just based on the size, the mass of what you get, as well as the number of parts and even the number of figures. Honestly, most themes can get away with, you know, having a total of 3 figures in a $30 set. You know, this one gets away with 4. So, not quite sure how they do it, how they afford it, but definitely really nice to see this at a $30 price. But let's take a look at those figures. Sunni is accompanied in this set by Kai. Again, I mentioned earlier about the whole head thing, so I'm not going to repeat myself. But Nia comes with her spear, standard spear. You know, I really like this piece. And it comes with a tassel on the bottom, so, you know, added bonus. Kai comes with 2 swords, and his whole gunmetal gray shoulder armor piece. The design on the torso for both of these is pretty cool. Kai's feels like it could have been printed a little bit, you know, better, but it's not too bad and not super noticeable. The legs, you know, don't exactly have the same shade as the torso just because they're printed on black, which, you know, again, same thing. The sandals for Nia, or the sandal-ish / toe print, is the only thing printed on those legs. Other than that, she just gets this awesome skirt piece, which I really like that design, you know, overall. And her torso print is not bad. I really like the way that looks. I like the gunmetal gray design for Nia. I know it's a little weird and different, but I think it's cool. And she gets arm printing, which is awesome. Looks really cool. Kai does not. He's a whole lot simpler. But they both have a little printed symbol on their masks. Nia's is printed in blue with a gunmetal stripe. And their face prints are both, you know, I'm just going to turn it around like that, the mask piece, instead of taking it off, for Nia at least. Kai has an angry face print, and the back for Nia is angry while Kai's is smiling, so that's cool. And we will remove Kai in order to show you that back print, which is, you know, standard. Nothing special about it really, but, you know, it's a cool print and works well. And Nia, again, is pretty cool looking figure, honestly, and I like it quite a bit. But yeah, it's pretty much all there is to these two guys. Yeah, let's move on to the bad guys. So the bad guys in the set are named Shark Army Thug, because he's generic, and then we have Puffer over here. So one of the generals. Shark Army Thug, we're just gonna look really quickly because he's in a lot of sets. His face print has the eye patch and the facial hair. I think that's a cool face. But the torso and legs, they're relatively simple. Nothing super special there. I like the color of his hat too, though. And he gets just a fish with a claw inside it. That's his weapon. And then the Puffer gets a pretty cool weapon with the fish hammer, which just uses a snot block with studs on 5 sides. And his helmet is really cool. We're going to take a look at that mold in a second. I just want to show you the face. The armor piece actually has a print on it that shows 3 batteries, so this guy's doing pretty well. And there's the torso print for him. And the legs actually are slightly different from Shark Army Thug's. He's got the bigger knee pads. And there's the back print, by the way. It's, relatively similar. He just has the no sleeves, so a little bit more yellow on there. And actually this does have an oxygen tank on the back, or a water tank, or whatever. I don't know, probably oxygen, because people still need to breathe. Unless Garmadon Shark Army doesn't, but, don't really explain that too much. The helmet, though, for Puffer, is this really awesome dual molded piece, and if you notice, there's a visor. It's dual molded in transparent clear, as well as this purple color, and it looks fantastic. You can see the visor over his face, and those eyes are actually molded in clear with the white printing on top, so it gives it a really cool look. And just turning the piece around, you can see that it's got the little spikes all over it, a little tail on the back. Honestly, this is probably one of the cooler helmets for the Shark Army officers in Garmadon's army. I really like the anglerfish one, and the octopus one looks awesome. I don't have it in person yet, though. So definitely looking forward to getting more different, unique ones. But this one's pretty cool. So let's move back to the final verdict. So far I've only reviewed 3, regular sets from the Ninjago movie. And this is the 3rd, and I have a 4th that I've built. But honestly, I think that this is, there's a lot more to go, but this is probably the best value of any of the Ninjago movie sets. Obviously, Ninjago City's awesome, and definitely a really good price-to-piece ratio, and, it feels a little bit small, but it's very, very detailed, and it definitely feels like you get your money's worth out of it. That's my, brief review. Full review coming soon. That's the one that I haven't reviewed yet. Still trying to find a place where I have enough height. But this one is fantastic. It's a really large build for a $30 set. You get 4 awesome figures, and, well, I guess 3 awesome ones. One that's good, but nothing super exceptional. Overall, this is nothing to complain about with this set, especially if you can get it on sale. You can probably get this for you'd probably be able to get it for $20 at least at one point. I already got it for $24, and this set's only been out for like a month, so definitely seeing some further discounts eventually. But this is probably the best set from the wave, the first wave, and probably will be the best from all the waves. Because it's a really cool set, and there's nothing to complain about. I would definitely recommend getting this set, even if you're not a Ninjago movie fan, or even if you're not a real, if you saw the movie and you thought it was, it was all right, and you want to get one set, this should be that one set. I think that it's a great introduction to the theme. It's a really cool vehicle, which, a lot of the other sets have really cool vehicles and cool figures. So, definitely must-have for any Lego collector, I would say. Especially Ninjago. If you like the Ninjago movie, buy this set. If you didn't like the Ninjago movie, look into buying this set. So, that's my, those are my honest opinions. Definitely really happy to have this one. Obviously, you know, it was hurt a little by the fact that I didn't get a real Kai head, and it's going to be a little tough to get a replacement. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm still going to recommend this set, because not everyone is going to have those little frustrating missing parts. However, the one little side note that I'm going to ask, I don't know for certain, but maybe the quality of the, you know, the part sorter or whatever puts all the parts in one bag. Maybe they ramp that down just a little in order to squeeze more parts into, you know, into a lower price set. We won't know for sure at all, ever. But it does kind of make you think a little. And I know I've seen a lot of people with, you know, Ninjago movie misprints and stuff. So maybe they've lowered their quality control just a tad. But we don't know. We'll find out. Never. Still would recommend, because you can get missing parts replaced, even if that does happen. That's just a little thing to think about and maybe hope that they fix in the future. So anyway, I know I talked a little bit about random other stuff here at the end, but overall, great set. Would recommend. See you guys all later. Bye everyone. Check out the link in the description and read it and blah blah blah. Adios.